They say most of your brain shuts down in cryosleep. All but the animal side. Guess that's why I'm still awake.
If the man is gone, he's gone. Why should he bother us?
Maybe to take what you got. Maybe to work your nerves.
Is he really that dangerous?
Only around humans.
All you people are so scared of me. But it ain't me you gotta worry about now.
Whatever it is, it got Zeke and it nearly got me. Get it off me!
They seem to stick to darkness. So if we stick to daylight, we should be all right.
A total eclipse. We're gonna lose everybody out here.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
Before Triple X, before The Pacifier, before The Fast and the Furious, before in the Vacation movie where they said that everything that we can do, as long as Vin Diesel can do it, we can do it. There was 2000's Pitch Black. Well, hi, Jeremy.
Hey, Knob. Did you say bitch black?
Pitch Black.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Pitch Black.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I went. Every single time I say Pitch Black, I just go back into that voice. I don't really get it. I don't know why.
Don't you wish you could just don't you wish you could just have that awesome announcer voice like at all times, like in the right moment?
Yeah, no.
And he grabs a beer, and he drinks it.
Discos too.
Right. Duffman never
Duff
dies.
Man, yeah.
Only the actors that play him.
Exactly. With that being said, Vin Diesel. Of course, when we talk about Pitch Black, we talk about Vin Diesel because that is literally a Vin Diesel movie. Even though it wasn't originally a Vin Diesel movie, it was the Vin Diesel movie. Vin Diesel in general, you know, what do you think is some of the movies that you enjoyed him in, or what do you think is like the top of his mountain?
I want to say, honestly, I think he's more misses than hits. And I think when he gets a hit, he kind of sticks with it.
Well, I mean, he has 8. Oh, there's been 8 Fast and Furious movies.
But think about it. Think about like
7 of them he's been in.
The movie that we're talking about right now. He stuck with it because it was kind of a success. This started out he has 3 characters that are well known. You have Riddick, you have whatever his name is in Fast and Furious, and in Triple X.
Toretto.
Yeah.
Dominic. Dom.
Yeah.
Toretto.
What's it? Is that Triple X? What's he in Triple X?
Huh?
What's his Triple X name?
Triple X.
Okay, I didn't know. He goes by another name, code name Triple X.
No, I'm sure he does actually.
Okay.
No, Xander Cruz is his name.
But think about it, like those
Xander Cage.
Those are the
Xander
movies where
Cruz.
they make a hit. He just rides them all. So like I said, he has a lot more misses than hits to me. His only 3 hits is three of his ones he does okay in.
So the Fast and the Furious, Triple X,
and the Riddicks,
and the Riddicks movie.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you didn't like him, the Pacifier?
No, and I was so disappointed in Babylon AD because that was a sci-fi movie. I was kind of hyped. terrible movie, like one of the worst movies out of his library.
So you don't consider I Am Groot?
No.
He's Groot.
No, that's basically giving him credit for Iron Giant. Yeah, he didn't. I'll give him Iron Giant more than Groot. I'll give him more than Groot.
I can understand what you're saying.
No, think about it. Like this is him that he can't get any other role, but he had to do a voice for Baby Groot. That's it. Like what other nothing ones? He got a XXX4 on the way along with Fast and Furious 10. He's just good what he has, and he wants to stick with it. That's it.
Because I think nowadays he actually owns the Fast and Furious franchise.
He might as well.
He pushes it.
He has a decade worth of films of the franchise.
Of the same
Not a lot of people
movie.
can pull that off. I think Mission Impossible is almost up there.
Yeah, Mission Impossible. But Mission Impossible was like an actual like original like TV show. Like
Hashtag Tom Cruise should join the Avengers. Sorry, go on.
Hashtag Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Hashtag Tom Cruise everything.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
I picked Pitch Black.
You picked Pitch Black. So tell us about some of the earlier memories that you have on Pitch Black.
I actually went to go see this in theaters. I didn't know who Vin Diesel was at the time, but then again,
no one did.
Right? And
no one.
And you know me very well that I'm a big sci-fi person, but I'm kind of picky with sci-fi. What I pick and
sci-fi action.
Yeah, and so I picked this one because it had like a horror feel, and it was one of those stories where you have to keep the lights on or the darkness come get you. I never watched a movie like that in the sci-fi.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Ooh.
Old Nickelodeon.
Ooh, it's like Twilight Zone, but like for kids.
It is for kids.
Yeah.
Like reading the Goosebumps series.
Yeah. I think Afraid of the Dark's better though.
I liked Afraid of the Dark.
Goosebumps, I think they were trying way too hard.
The clown thing was creepy.
The special effects were a little bit too much. No, dude, the mask was the scary one. The mask that just takes your face.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that was scary, dude.
Back to Vin Diesel.
Anyways, so
Pitch Black.
Pitch Black was just like a kind of a sci-fi horror. I remember really liking it. I remember I liking the creatures. The cast were very one-off. And when I mean one-off, I mean like they were going to be taken out one by one. So I didn't really care that much about the cast. The funny part is about this movie, like you watch it for survival, but you watch it really to see who's this mysterious guy and why is he so mysterious and why does he know a lot of things?
Yeah, for being a side character, like the actual side character in the movie, he's the one that stole the movie, like easily. Mm-hmm. He's by far the mysterious badass that everyone wanted to see do his thing. So I think the first memory that I have is watching this on cable TV, and I kind of wish that I got a chance to see it in movie theaters because I think it would be something that's really cool to watch in movie theaters. But unfortunately, I can't change that unless it has one of those classic movies. I wouldn't put this as a classic movie, but one of the times they decided to show like the older movies like in movie theaters, I think I'd go check it out.
If it was in my top 50 greatest sci-fi movies of all time, Pitch Black would probably be there. It might be in my 40s, but
yeah, it's not in the top 10.
I think it deserves in the top 50.
Yeah,
not the top 100. I think it deserves in the top 50.
Man, I don't even know if I can think of 50 sci-fi action.
It's tough because you have to think about sci-fi drama, sci-fi love, romance, all that crap. So
yeah, I would definitely put it like higher than Star Wars 1, 2, and 3.
You would? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that and The Last Jedi. Easy.
Okay. I don't know. Revenge of the Sith, after revisiting that one, I kind of give it a little more credit than it does. I think it's the better one out of the three.
Yeah, it is the better one. I guess.
That's another talk for another
That
day.
is another
in a galaxy
talk.
far, far away. Where Pitch Black could have been. Maybe they're in the same universe. They never specify where
Dude, Riddick would die because they would just use the lightsaber on him.
No, not necessarily if they don't go cross paths with Jedis. He hasn't ran into a Jedi yet. He's in a new galaxy, like somewhere else, like on a planet. That
somebody would force choke him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
So we got
Darth Riddick.
Yeah, Darth Riddick. Darth Riddick.
Right.
Pitch Black.
You want to fight? I don't want to fight. You don't want to fight him. Sorry. Go on. Sorry.
No, you're fine, man. So we got a chance to watch the trailer again. Actually, this is the first time I got a chance to watch the trailer, and let me tell you something, Jeremy. That was like that's a B-rated movie trailer that I felt like I made in my own.
Did it feel like an independent project?
Oh my God, does it not?
Like I felt like it was a rough draft. It felt like a rough draft. Like, okay, so where's the real trailer?
Yeah, like I felt like I made it on my own computer, which was horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know a thing about how to make a trailer.
Yeah, because it's so interesting because like you haven't seen so many different color filters on it.
Yeah.
And that's how the movie is.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to match up what the planet's atmosphere is like, right?
Yeah.
But the trailer just not present that to show that. It just feels like that they were testing ideas what worked and did not work out.
Yeah, right. It's like it's just like it was taking itself too serious when it was like it was like we ran out of budget, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. And it didn't help where they had two black moments where like it just been pitch black, pun intended, but with no sound, and then all of a sudden quick action, blackout again. Another quick action, blackout again. I was like, that was not a good transition.
That and just the song.
Oh,
the music that they had. It wasn't even a song. I mean, that's discrediting like whoever, like, you know, actual musicians out there. Just like the music that they had going on for it.
They could have put the
horrible.
They could have done the Shaun of the Dead where those two were like out in the street, like jamming it out. Like, they could have done that to replace that, and that would have been more entertaining.
Which was funny because it was you would just like then they would show action clip.
Yeah, yeah,
action clip.
That would have made it so much cooler.
Oh my god! No, I completely agree.
From the guy that's seen every movie ever.
Oh my gosh!
But no, the trailer.
I can't believe the trailer wasn't bad.
The trailer at the time when I watched it, that didn't draw me in as much. I'll tell you what drew me into that trailer was the very ending when that guy lighted up and all those creatures around him. You could have done that as a teaser, and that would have got my curiosity more than show me all this other stuff that really had nothing to do, like what is going on. So
no, I agree. I think based on the trailer alone, I would not have gone to see the movie.
Yeah.
The fact that I actually watched the movie on cable TV makes me want to watch it. Is it one of
those you accidentally watch? It was just on TV. You just happened to sit down and just watch it, or were you like, "Oh, I heard good things. Let me sit down and watch this."
I didn't hear anything about it.
Okay.
It was just one of those things that just happened to be on like TNT, I think.
Okay.
And I just happened to watch it. So
TNT, we know drama.
Oh, we know drama.
Oh, and we also have NBA. Anyways,
we'll talk about the movies once we watch it after our break.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to this episode as part of the In-Game Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows. And remember, you can find all these shows on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. All you have to do is just follow and subscribe and enjoy all our other variety shows, like the In-Game Boss podcast, When Jeremy Met Nom and Finally Do a Movie podcast, Bond Never Dies, In the Cabinet Sessions. So thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of the show.
And we are back after watching Pitch Black with Vin Diesel.
Vin guy.
Diesel.
What's he known for again?
He is known for being Richard B Riddick. Which is
I
weird.
wish they never told me what his first name is.
I can't.
It is not confident anymore. Like, he's not a threat anymore to me. When you say Richard at the beginning of it,
I did not realize he introduces himself like at all. Like I thought that was just one of those IMDb. You look it up and it just shows that. Well, no, he just there's that scene where they're just like, I'm so and so, and it's like, I am Richard B Riddick,
right?
And you're just
R&B,
like,
R&B.
Wow, wow. Anywho, so after watching the movie, you tell me, how did you feel about it?
Can I say that had a very bad beginning, but it kind of got okay at the end?
Bad beginning and it kind of got okay.
Like once the blackout started, I think that's when the movie just started getting good.
Okay.
But that beginning,
it got more interesting that way.
Yeah, beginning was too confusing because the movie didn't know what it was. Like, okay, so you're riding on this ship, a disaster happened, they crash, this woman made a choice to either end the movie early or keep the movie going. You know what I mean? And
younger me would have been like, no, I'm glad that everyone survived. Older me is just like, end the movie now.
right. She was choosing between that. They crashed because the captain died way at the very beginning because of a random asteroid or whatever. They never even decided what it was.
Because what happened was that there was like an asteroid. I guess they kind of ran into an asteroid field where
quotations, by the way, are in this comment. Sorry.
Yeah, they ran into an asteroid field and it went through and started destroying the hull, and then it woke everyone up early. But the plane itself was diving into an
Right.
was diving into a planet. So
And then
it was
they-
kind of one of those. They dive into
Yeah.
a planet, try to get out.
So
early.
they ended landing on this planet. You find out there was way more too many casts for their own good, and then they sit on this planet where you don't know if it's hot as hell or not because like there's a sun that looks like the
three suns, by the way.
But they didn't even specify 3 suns yet
Yeah,
until
no,
halfway. I mean, until like an hour later, like, oh, there
Yeah.
have to be 2 more suns. Like, you didn't know that when you first walked out. But
No, they said there was 3 suns.
not when they first walked out.
Yeah. She looked around. She was like, "There's 3 suns."
No, when everybody walked out, they just looked out,
Yeah.
and it was just you saw the heat coming out, but like no one was sweating or anything like that. I was like, well, is it hot or not? Like, and then then they point at this sun over here, which like is super blue. Then they point at another sun over here that was like I guess reddish per se. But you would think that during the transition when they're landing, we would see some colors coming through or something like that. I didn't quite understand why should we go after Riddick in the first place? Riddick could have just been fine on his own, and we could have just found their way out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can give you that point.
I mean, I just felt like that they were forcing Riddick to be the star, and then finally when they did it, then the movie got good. But it just felt like they were forcing too hard about it. And then these characters were not – they were having a little bit of identity crisis to me a little bit because I don't know what you guys' purpose are, but all of a sudden you guys now have a purpose. Like, oh, I happen to know how to repair this. I happen to know this. Like, you guys didn't care to share that at the beginning. I don't know. I just –
Yeah, all right. So we'll just break it into three different sections: the beginning, the middle, and the end, and we'll just talk about it. Right. So at the very beginning, I'm with you too. I was perplexed, I guess you could say, about a couple of details within that too. There's the crash landing, right? They set it up to where it's kind of a redeeming. Eventually, that they're foreshadowing some sort of redemption with Fry, the main girl. Mm-hmm. Who the captain died at the very beginning because there was a bunch of little asteroids that just went through his pod and killed him like by chance, just by chance. And Fry was their pilot who ended up just sacrificing like a good chunk of the ship. And then, of course, she's trying to sacrifice the people that were in the ship, the pedestrians that they were taken to, wherever they were taken to, because they're from the U.S., they're from America, obviously.
I think they mentioned they were mentioning going back to Earth because one of the Arabic people were talking about. I can't wait to get back to such and such and
New
do
Mexico.
Something.
Yeah. He can't wait to get back to New Mexico, which I don't know why they were out. We don't know what their story is.
What the hell's in New Mexico? I'm sorry. Go on.
We don't know. We don't know what their story is whatsoever. So they get down. They get to the plane. I had a problem because a lot of things just went through the ship, like asteroids and stuff went through the ship, and the mirror or the window breaks. Right. So the window breaks and just a bunch of glass just goes through and hits her in the face. I'm just like, she should be dead. Like I don't see how she survived.
Even that heat thing.
Because they were going through they were going through the atmosphere, so there was a bunch of fire and everything. So I guess they had gotten to a point where they were past atmosphere, but then the glass breaks and they're still going fast. So that means that glass isn't going any slower. So she somehow survived without being unscathed. She should have looked like freaking Jigsaw by the time that was done. So I was kind of disappointed there, and then of course the other dude gets killed, and then Riddick escapes, and then you kind of meet everybody. I think I'm with you too. Like the very beginning was slow. Like I think it was just slow, and they were trying to build the characters, but they were uninteresting.
There was too many, and they were unnecessary. Like I don't know.
I don't know about too many. I just think they
the
were
Arabic with the 3 kids was kind of unnecessary to me.
I think.
They were definitely a plot point for death.
Well, they were there to
and they weren't worth your time.
Well, the dude Keith, what's his name, survives.
That's what I'm talking about. Like Keith would have been just fine to me. Keith Davis character.
Yeah.
Maybe one kid. I'll give you one kid because it's like okay, he lost his parents, yada yada. But 3 of them, they were really just test dummies for death.
Yeah. I think that's what it was, right? So they had to have people they can kill off in the movie because it's a horror sci-fi movie, right?
I get that. I guess my point was like
they meant nothing. You didn't care about them.
Yeah, and I thought, hey, how about these casts that actually meant something? So their death is more.
Like so the people that you really cared about was maybe so you cared about Riddick's character. You cared about, all right, I say care very loosely. So the girl, the main girl, Fry, and the next Shaza,
the bodyguard. I mean the
girl. The other girl.
Yeah, and then you had Jack.
You had Jack. Those are the ones that you kind of cared about.
Yeah.
Or at least the main ones that you cared about. But I don't know. I didn't feel like I was interested in any of the other or any of the characters just in general. I think they did a really good job with Riddick. I think they did. Though, like the entire movie was about Riddick.
Yeah, that's why I was like
I think whoever wrote the story was just like had Riddick, and they were just like, this is the character I want, and then they just wrote a story, whatever story around
like how cool can we make Riddick, then more of like how can we make this cast interesting but Riddick still comes off cool too.
Yeah, like no, not even that. I think they were just like, we got Riddick is a really cool character that we want to make this the main guy, and we're just gonna write a story around it.
Yeah,
and we're just gonna go with whatever.
Yeah,
just we're gonna make him look as cool as possible. At least that's how the direction felt.
Yeah.
Because everybody else looked like idiots, and the only person that looked cool or responsive is Riddick. And then it goes to the very at the very beginning scene where the dude sneaks up on them. Not Riddick, but the other guy sneaks up on a passenger that was dropped like a mile away. Comes up and was like, "Hey, I thought I was the only one that survived. I can't believe you survived." And the next, the dude shoots him. He's just like, I thought he was Riddick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like, that was kind of. Yeah, I was kind of saddened and upset at the same time. But I was like, did this scene need to exist if this was going to happen? I was like, so. Yeah,
so I mean, there's Jack, and there's Johns, which you do care about Johns too, who was the blonde eye blue or the blonde blue eye killer.
Basically the
bounty hunter.
The bounty hunter, yeah.
The bounty hunter, but just going through the story, I just didn't really care all that much.
And that's what I was saying, where like once it went dark, is where it really got interesting from there.
Yeah. So when they found out about the monsters first, right?
Yeah.
So when they found out about the monsters, when they were in the cave, or whenever Fry got put into the cave, or she went into the cave to try to redeem herself in whatever way, shape, or form she was trying to redeem herself, she finds out that there were monsters, or there were whatever that you want to call those things, those aliens things. And she escapes, and she tells them, "Hey, this is what's going on. This is what's underneath the thing." That was the only other cool redeeming thing about it was just the monsters alone. But I have a lot of questions when it comes to that too. Mm-hmm. It's just like, so they live underground, but what do they eat? What do they do to survive? They multiply, but what do they do to survive?
Well, apparently, I guess, I don't know, like towards the end, you saw them eating each other, but I don't know why that was a reason.
No, they weren't even eating each other. They were killing each other to kill the light.
Oh, okay.
So, when they were talking about in the canyon. So, let's talk about the middle.
Well, now, this could be, remember, there was people that used to live there, so maybe that was over 20 years ago. No, I'm not defending that. I'm just saying that was one source, I guess.
I know, that's what I'm saying, right? So, over 20 years ago, there was like maybe 20 humans, 20 people.
They have a very large fridge, and you can only say one person's going to eat maybe a meal a day.
50, but you're talking about like millions of aliens, like thousands.
They're really good at sharing them and just being more calm about the rationing it out to everybody.
Yeah, so. I guess. But if you're sitting there thinking about it, like really, like these guys, these things, you don't know how they survive, why they survive, and what they eat, what they drink. Yeah, exactly.
Sand.
They stay underground until there's nighttime.
But that's the thing, though, right? That's the beauty about sci-fi. Like you make a creature, and you can really. Don't have to really explain it really because you don't need to, I guess. I mean, because like they can make up anything. Like they eat sand, Nom.
Yeah.
Now what?
You can say that, but you can't say that because it's an unanswerable question. There's no proof to it.
Exactly. So you have no proof that they don't know what they eat either, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Here's the thing, though. It's like, how do they survive?
That's what you want. You want answers.
No, but it's just like how do you survive?
I want concrete answers. They eat concrete now.
It was like they go off and they kill. There's nothing on that world but those aliens underneath the earth.
There's sand and dirt.
Just underneath it. They're underneath the can. There's nothing else.
Hey, it's moist. It's edible.
Yeah. Nothing else.
But what about Riddick, though, like the character? Did you, you said he's cool, but what merely made him cool to you? Like, to me, like, his actions were not really cool to him. The way he was acting like he knew more than what you knew made him interesting to me. He was I'm not the only one that
he has primal instincts, right?
Yeah, I think that one made him more cool because, some of his fight scenes were okay, but his personality and his mysterious was made him really cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is the way they filmed him. The way they filmed him made him cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like by all means, the way they filmed him made him cool. Like Vin Diesel did a good job of acting as that kind of character because I think the way they filmed him made him cool. Like the passenger, the other survivor dies, and then he falls down, and they just pan out to like Riddick's just drinking tea and sitting on a little chair. He's just like, that sucks.
But another reason why
they secretly pan him, or as people are walking through the cove, not the cove, but the grounds, they just pass by him, and he's just sitting there. He's like the cat from Trigun. He just happens to be there, just randomly hiding. The dude falls in, dies into the cave. They look up, and then there's Riddick just sitting there with a knife, and they're just like, "Well, you murdered him." Well, it's like, I just sat here.
Yeah, see, that's why, I think when the darkness came, that's why the movie was more intriguing than the first half. Because, too, the lighting in the beginning, all that was so awkward. Like, at the beginning, like, when they first landed on the planet, that movie was so bright, and then it felt like it got toned down halfway.
Well, they were making you feel like the desert feel to it, right? So, like, as if you're in the middle of the desert.
Right, but then there'll be part there in the middle of the desert, and I feel like the tone changed. And then they're trying to work on this lighting idea, like, okay, now you're going to walk towards the blue sun side, and here's all the blues, and then we're going to come back. And that's another thing, too. Isn't it weird that when stuff hit the fan, that by coincidence these characters make it back in time for these moments? I swear they were in the boneyard, and then when such and such, the antique collector guy and the other guy were all together on this, after they what's his face shot after what's his face gets caught into that hole, and when he was digging that hole when we find out about the monster, and they thought Riddick did it. Funny how the whole group made it back in time that quick. I'm like, you guys were all the way on the other side.
It wasn't even there. It wasn't even just that. There's that point too, but there's the point of, like, they went through a whole story arc with Fry and Johns, right? So Fry tells Johns that she was going to sacrifice all of them, which I don't know why she told Johns that. Then next there was the whole Riddick and Johns saga, the whole build up for Riddick and Johns, and during that entire time they were supposed to grab the cores that they were supposed to put on the new ship, right? But all of a sudden, when they find out that the model turns dark and that the sun, and you see Jupiter, what looks like to be Jupiter, start to rise from the horizon, you're just like, all of a sudden, whenever they started seeing that, they started booking, and everybody just got like 10 different cores stuck in a cart, and they almost started riding off. And I was just like, so why didn't you guys do that during the entire story arc of
exactly? I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they decided to waste time going to the coring room.
Yeah. Like, I was like, why are you guys wasting time? Like, I'd like to try to get off the island as quick as possible. You guys sure as hell think you have a lot of time to do it. And yes, granted, they didn't think they were going to randomly, like, get destroyed by, a bunch of aliens, but there is no food, there is no water, there was water. They did find water, so there wasn't really any food. They had lack of resources, so you're just like, you would think you would try to get the hell off of Dodge as quick as possible. So they took their sweet ass time before they found out there was an eclipse coming, and next once they found out the eclipse coming, all of them started booking their way through. And don't get me started about what's her name, Shazza's death.
Yeah, you're
like
talking
her first death. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking
the first death. Yeah.
You're talking about the part with Van Diesel, right?
When Vin Diesel and Shazza just dropped to the ground, and then all of a sudden, like, the aliens weren't there. They don't attack. They don't attack any of them. She gets up, and then they attack her, and I'm just like,
that feels so cheap, the way to kill her off like that. I was like, that's so cheapish.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, I was like, so
what? They pick and choose now?
Just because they laid down on the ground kept them from...
They were trying to demonstrate if you don't move, they can't see you, kind of thing. But through their eyes, they can still see you. But it looks like now they're questioning, like, are you alive or not alive? That's what they're trying to show.
Because they do it through echo, right?
Yeah,
so
and it doesn't work.
Well, yeah, like, all of a sudden, so you skip Vin Diesel and you skip the girl, the first run around, just because they dropped down to the ground. Like, that was the idea. It's like, they dropped down to the ground, they escape. Really?
And then they can smell blood and kill you that way too.
Yeah, they can.
And it's like, then what's the point of the sonar?
Yeah, well, they use both, right? So
but I'm just saying, like, I guess for me, like, if I can see your face, you're meat to me. Doesn't matter if I smell you or anything like that, but it's more of like, I smell the blood. Are you real or not? Maybe I should quotation see by.
Well, it was just a huge swarm. You would think they would just like, I don't know. Like, I was just like, Shazza died in a really stupid way.
The best death to me was when the antique guy was straighted off and he
Paris.
Blew the fire and you saw all of them surround him. That was the best scene to me. 'Cause I was like, that was awesome. That was like going out with like an awesome death.
I guess that was awesome, man. I don't know. I sat there just like, I get the panic, the characteristics and stuff like that, but like, don't even get me started with the lighting. The whole lights, the lights that keep them away from
that was
them.
So mix matching. I don't know.
Yeah, like the glow sticks that they wore across their bodies, and all of a sudden it just kept everyone from attacking them.
Because that scene could have been better, because the hype of that scene was to me was the fact that you saw the swarm surrounding them, but they couldn't get close. I was hyped for that. 'Cause I was like, one person makes a mistake, someone's gonna die. I was hyped for that, but just the execution did not work out.
Yeah, I just don't think that's enough light. Like, they have all that.
The glow sticks was not a good idea. The glow sticks didn't make sense, but
cool.
But the fire made sense to me.
Yeah,
but the glow sticks did not.
But even so, right? That's not enough fight. That's not enough light to protect you, because that goes to the end. That proves my point. So when I know we skipped over the middle. The middle was okay. Like, I was more interested in. I was more interested in the movie towards the middle of it, because there was the idea that they had to get from the canyon.
Yeah, the middle was basically a group talk of what the big step was, how to get there, right? So this is a chance for everybody to kind of put their 2 cents in, except a lot of people's 2 cents were already gone, so it was really only like 5 people in the room. But that was basically the middle of it.
Yeah. So they try to run into the canyon, or Riddick leads them. Each one of their people kind of die off because they make dumb mistakes and they make dumb choices in life. Is more or less how I felt. Was like, you wish they were make smart choices and then just died because they made smart choices, but they didn't. You get to the end, and like, just the whole lighting, the whole thing I was talking about, the lighting, right? So Fry dies because she holds on to Riddick. But there was light around them. But she gets stabbed, and she gets yanked up into the air. And you're just like, but there was light around them, so that should have been all right? She had the bottle. I thought, if I swore right, she had the bottle in her hand. She might not have. But she was protected. She should have been protected enough by Riddick and the light. And all of a sudden, she dies, and she gets pulled off to the side because one person just decided to be, or one alien decided to be brave and just decided to go that way. Like,
see, and this comes to this thing, and here's the real question: did they consider, because of the skin of Riddick, is the reason why he got away with this stuff?
I don't think so.
Really? Because when he locked those people up in that cave with the rock and he ran off in the dark, no lighting, they never messed with him. I swear, every time he would run off, no one would ever go after Riddick. He hides in the shadows because I think part of it was he was a little more dark tone.
He can also see it. He also can see
he can see in the dark, but that doesn't stop them from seeing him.
But if he's dark toned, then Keith David would have survived too, or would have.
But he was wearing white.
He could have switched to dark.
He didn't switch, did he? No, he was dressing all white. It was look at me, kill me.
Abu, yeah.
Now, I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, but to make up
for
that.
I get where you're going. It's like, part of me thinks that Riddick has that primal instinct that he can kind of sneak his way in the dark, whereas the others can't because they can't see in the dark.
I guess because when he was doing that part where he was mimicking what they were doing, which that was probably one of my favorite scenes when he was mimicking. It wasn't because. No, I'm not saying the dark tone, but I'm just saying in general. It's just the fact that right there was a better reason.
Yeah.
For why he got away with that with no light.
Yeah, because he got in their blind spot.
Yes, but other times, I feel like he uses the shot. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like maybe I want to say maybe that was a little bit part of it. Maybe not the whole core, but I feel like it's an inch of it. Because when he ran through that, running those 4 things, he's running slow.
Yeah.
What were they doing? Were they scared of him?
Yeah.
It had to be they could barely see him or something. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
Well,
maybe people that are listening to this can tell me.
Because even if he's dark, they use echo sonar. They use sonar to find.
Then what do you think? Why he got away with that? In primal instinct, but you can say primal instinct, but what does that have to do with them coming after him?
What, his primal instincts? No, him knowing them.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
it's like he knows them, like how they act, how
Okay.
they move, and how they whatever.
Okay.
Because he was the only one that would know anything. He was smart enough to know anything about
I thought he
them
was
then.
going. I thought he was learning as he went. I guess. I thought during.
No,
that.
he was, but
Okay.
I'm saying he was the only one that could pick up stuff like that.
Okay.
Versus any of the guys that were like
Okay.
Johns or anybody like
Okay.
that. I mean, I that's an unanswerable question that we're gonna have one way
Okay.
or the other, but I don't have an answer for you. Truly, I mean that would have been my guess too.
So to wrap things up,
So or
I will say
categories, right?
I will say though.
Before we get to
Before we
categories.
question, I will say this though. The reason why I was intrigued by this movie when I first watched it was the first time I watched a movie where a bad guy got out and not been the bad guy like that turned
anti-hero?
that didn't turn a heart and sacrifice himself to save others. It was more of like, I'm gonna save y'all, but if it goes down, I will leave y'all. And that was a little bit different for me at that time.
It was an emotional. It was conflict, right? Because it was conflict all the way across the board. And I know we didn't really touch on it that much whenever we were touching on.
I think it
Riddick
speaks
and
for
Fry.
itself if you watch it. I didn't
Because
think
I mean,
we talked about
Fry,
the conflict.
the whole Fry betraying like the entire things. They were telling, she was trying to redeem herself from the decision that she made that no one really knew about except for Johns. And then of course Riddick is just Riddick, and then you get to see that he has somewhat of a heart. Other than being a bad guy.
But
So
the fact that they still let a murderous person still get away, that's the reason why I was kind of intrigued by it. Like, you still let a person that, yeah, he redeemed, but it doesn't make up all the people he murdered. But
Yeah.
it was interesting that he was still one of the people that's made it out.
No, I mean,
And
by
then-
far, like I said,
Yeah.
this movie by far made Riddick look good.
Yeah.
I honestly feel that they were just like, we have this BA character, and we're just gonna write a story around him, whether it's good or bad. We're just gonna write a story around him.
Yeah.
We're gonna make him look as cool as possible,
Yeah.
but that's about it.
Okay.
Categories. The first category is if you could replace someone in the movie with a black actor or actress, who would it be?
To me, it'd be William J. Johns.
Johns?
Yeah.
Who would you replace him with?
If I had to replace an actor at that time, crazy enough, I think because he's an upgoing actor. I mean, at that time, to me, Idris Elba. I think that'd be.
Idris Elba?
Yeah, I think he would be a great
You would make him a villain?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Because those two haven't really been in a film together, and this is during the time he was doing Luther, I think. So him coming into this like the up and rising kind of person, I think it'd be really interesting to see that because he plays off a good villain look.
Yeah, I can give you
I
that.
think it'd just be awesome to see them clash.
I wonder if you would do the who is the other one? The guy from John Wick.
Oh, Common?
Not Common. The hotel guy.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about because he played in Fringe and a bunch of other stuff.
Cannot for the life of me remember him. But while you're thinking about it, I did pick Iba as well.
You did?
As one of the guys I changed, except for
wow.
I didn't put him as Johns though. Guess who I picked him as?
Not Fry.
No, put him as the captain.
Oh, you just knock him out.
just
Lance.
Just kill him off.
His name is Lance Riddick.
His name is Lance Riddick.
Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The guy you were thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, Lance Riddick. I can see him doing his Johns. So I just as a joke, I just put Idris Elba as the captain. Like you see, captain, he has a captain look to him.
He does.
And then all of a sudden he just dies at the very beginning, which makes it really sad. There was him. You know, the interesting thing about it is at first I wanted to replace Fry, and I was thinking Jada Pinkett Smith. And the more I watched Fry, the more I disliked Fry. And the more weak Fry was, the less I thought of Jada Pinkett Smith. So I thought Shazza, replacing her with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay.
I think Jada Pinkett Smith would do well. Of course, she dies off, and she dies off.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate. But the other thing I put down was Riddick. So originally they thought about doing Riddick as a female character. I couldn't think of any female black actress
At the time, that would fit that role.
that would fit that role. But if you were to replace him with a black actor, who would you do it?
Ooh, that's tough.
Tough,
Maybe
right?
Wesley Snipes?
Oh, actually, that's actually not a bad move. I didn't think about Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, maybe Wesley Snipes. Yeah.
Wesley Snipes isn't a bad move. I put Common. I put Common and I put LL.
LL no for me.
Yeah, I can see that would easily be in a no, but I feel he has the look, like the body.
Yeah, I guess like maybe I just can't picture LL as an anti-hero. I guess not. I always picture him maybe a good cop that has to maybe do a couple bad things to get stuff done. I know that sounds like an anti-hero too, but he wouldn't be a murderous person trying to be good.
I think LL could pull it off. I think he has that look. He's got to shave the mustache.
I think Wesley Snipes would just be the perfect role for him.
I think Wesley would do well. I don't know if he has that menacing feel though.
I don't know. Ever since Blade
he's smaller.
Blade and Demolition Man, I think he's good at changing it up. I think he can beat that dark, mysterious.
I'm gonna go with Common though.
Okay.
I think Common was my
Okay.
ordeal. So the next one is, out of the people that survived in the movie, come up with a way that they were killed off instead of surviving in the movie. And the reason why I chose this, or the reason why I put this category it was one of my categories, but one of the reasons why the categories that I have in there is because I found it interesting in The Warriors. There was a main character who was supposed to be a main character, a big important part of the story, all the way to the end. But people hated him, like the actual actor himself. They hated him, so they ended up killing him off into a train, and they rewrote the story instead of it just they fired him in the middle of it. They killed him off in the train, then they just
one of my favorite movies, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, they just rewrote it. So if you were talking about a person that was someone that survived throughout the entire movie, who's one of the main characters, who would you kill off?
Oh, dude, I already had it the moment they were running. Okay, so the scene that I'm going to describe is they were it's more when the darkness came, and they were trying to figure out how they were going to get the 4 cells into the ship. And of course, that's the scene we were talking about. They're having the glow. They had the glow cables and all this stuff. Yeah. So when they were traveling, they were mentioning somebody was like how can they get a high scent from us? And I would wish Riddick would turn around and says, well, it's from some girl. And he was like, her. I was like, no, not her. Yeah. And it was a character Jack that everybody, spoiler alert, they thought it was a boy, but it was a girl. Right then and there, I would have one of those demons come and grab her and just bring her into the darkness. Done.
Nice.
That would have been awesome, and it'd be unexpected. Not her, and then that monster go Rawr! And just grab it. That'd have been amazing, because they always tend to have the kids always survive, except I think the other 3 Arabic kids were dead too, but this one was a very important one because she was the only female girl, and it was unexpected. It's like boom, she just goes. I think that would have been an amazing moment. That would have caught me off guard.
Yeah, I think that actually would have been a really cool choice. Mm-hmm. It's funny because I think both of us fall into the same line. Because without Jack, unfortunately, without Jack, there isn't Chronicles of Riddick or the actual Riddick movie.
Right.
But I feel the same way. I would probably end Jack because you really wouldn't kill Keith Lee or Keith David, and then you wouldn't really kill Riddick. But Jack, and actually it was almost the same moment that you had said something too, because I sat there and said to myself, it's just like, so he just turns around and is just like, it's her. It's like, she's not cut. John's is like, she's not cut. It's like, no, her. And then I can just imagine John's just just throw his napalm, just burns her. Is like, we're done with that. We're gonna keep going now.
Right.
I feel Johns would have murdered her.
Honestly, if you were talking about Keith Davis' character Abu, I think his perfect scene to me would have been where when he says, "Where's your God now?" and then that creature would have got him. And it was during the canyon part, during the raining.
Yeah, when they went inside the canyon.
I think that would have been.
That
would have been a good death one right there too.
What's really interesting is like, even if you were to kill off, the only person you could kill off and actually affect the story and try to rewrite the entire story would be Riddick, right? Because even if you killed Jack off or you kill Keith Lee, they didn't really impact
Fry's
the
in the
story.
equation. I think if you kill off too early, it would just kind of fall off course too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why. But Fry dies, so Fry dies, so there's not really much of a rewrite.
Right.
And I think the other two weren't really. They were there enough, but they weren't
right.
so much into it.
Right.
Like, you wouldn't really care about Jack until you watch Chronicles of Riddick, right?
Yes, that's very true.
Then you wouldn't rewrite the actual movie itself. They just, oh crap, Jack died. Oh crap! Keith died or Abu died.
Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't really shed a tear.
Yeah. You lose Riddick, you lose like the entire movie.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
So that was kind of a unlucky one for us, I guess, when it comes to categories.
Mm-hmm.
Our last category is based on this movie in general, an action. It's not action, but sci-fi horror movie. In the range of actors, what would we rate the movie actor wise?
That's a tough one.
So you would have to say who your top actor is, who your crappy actor, and whatever you would rate it, right?
Well, I was gonna just say, based on the record of an actor, how I feel about this movie. So I would probably give
based
it.
On the record.
So I would say maybe I'll give it a Stallone. I think his.
Oh, really, a Stallone?
I give it a Stallone only because, and maybe you can correct me. Would you say the first half of his career was not as good as the second half of his career?
No, I think his first half was great because you have Rocky.
Okay, give me an actor that had the first good, terrible first half, and then redeemed himself better in the second half. Because that's how I feel about this movie.
So
would Bruce Willis be part of that?
Yeah, you could say Bruce Willis. I mean, because the later half of his movie, his apex was definitely Die Hard.
Okay.
In my opinion, and that was earlier in his career.
No. I want to see Liam Neeson. I think his second half is better than his first half.
Yeah, most definitely.
I rate this as a Liam Neeson. I think that the first half, it was a first half that didn't know what was going on. I thought it was not good, and then the second half kind of like, okay, you found your footing. All right.
I can see where you're.
Yeah,
going
I give it
with
Liam Neeson.
I give it a Carl Urban.
Why?
He's just there.
I agree with that too.
He's a good actor. He's just there.
So it's damn if you do, you damn if you don't. If you're not in this movie,
yeah.
So you're saying like this?
You know what's funny about Carl Urban's? He's in the Chronicles of Riddick.
I know, right?
I feel that he doesn't like. I feel like this movie was okay. I think when I was younger, I had the fascination of Riddick, but I think this movie was okay.
Yeah, it makes you almost question like, would you have been fine if they never really continue Riddick's Chronicles?
Yeah, I think the reason why is just because of Riddick himself, but even so. But with that being said, Pitch Black, Rotten Tomatoes, critics 59 tomato meter, and audience gave it a 77. Which way do you lean?
I'm a 59 all the way.
Because before you watched the trailer, before you watched the trailer, did you honestly think you would rate it a
29? The trailer would be a 29.
Oh, not even just the trailer. Before you watched the trailer, like just on your own memories, would you have thought of 77?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
But I definitely lean towards the 59.
The only reason why it was 77 is because when I was younger, it was a movie that we haven't never seen it before. And in the fact that we never had a character like this, that survived to me. So it was you came for Riddick, you didn't come for the story. And that's what the 77 to me is. That 77 people are coming off like, Riddick's a cool character.
Yeah.
That's all you're getting the 77 for.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because everything else is trash.
Yeah, that's
not trash, but everything else was okay.
But we're looking at the whole picture, it's a 59. Because Riddick was a cool character, but he didn't do enough to make this story interesting. And plus, I think the shadows were the Riddick in the shadows were the most interesting thing about it, because the reason I watched it because the darkness was so awesome at how these creatures come after you in the darkness, and Riddick had to figure out how to get out of this. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm a 59.
Oh no, I lean towards critics by all means. 59.
Yeah.
And
I don't change the number either. That's perfect. 59.
I think we covered it when I said Carl Urban because it just suited. Yeah, I like Carl Urban, but
it's like Liam Neeson. It's like Liam Neeson, like I said too. Like you go to see Liam Neeson, maybe you don't really care about the story, but Liam Neeson's pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, he's a rad guy.
So we're gonna stick with the critics. Critics win this one. Jeremy, tell them where they can find us.
Well, we are part of the In-Game Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows, and you can definitely see this show and many of our shows coming soon to tell you. You'll definitely check those out on our Facebook and our Twitter. Make sure you look up for the In-Game Boss program. But remember, you can listen to all the shows and spread the word about it. You can find our shows, of course, on Podbean, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and hopefully we'll have more places for you to listen to soon. But when we did this show, we wanted to do movies that we love, so definitely leave a comment, ask questions, tell us what movies you like. Did you like Pitch Black? Do you wish it was darker? Do you wish that Riddick was a different actor? You wish it was a chick like Nam heard about? You let us know. But with that, Make sure if you have any other questions or any comments and stuff, you can definitely email me at theingameoffice@gmail.com. And not anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
I think Charlize Theron could have been Riddick.
Charles Theron could do anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that.
That's my girl.
You know the beautiful thing. Yeah,
That is my girl, man.
the beautiful thing about this movie was exactly the reason why we did this podcast. Right? It was a movie that we watched in the past that we liked a lot, and then whether we would feel like whether we change or not once we watched it as older people, this was definitely the epitome of like the complete opposite of what we were when we were kids.
Right.
So you, by all means, please leave feedback. Watch the movie yourself. See if you guys feel remotely the same as we did.
If we're hilarious, and rumor has it we are, please just follow and subscribe so you can always be up to date with all these episodes coming out.
Yeah, and if you don't think that we're hilarious, it's fine. Just download and don't listen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all we need, right? No, but I thank you guys for any type of feedback that you guys give to us. Please, you can reach me on Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch at TheKNTran.
And you can find me as RetroAmp07 on Twitter. And, of course, once again, visit us on our Facebook page for more information and such. And we will catch you on our next film.